range anxiety. Only 64
Unnecessary.
miles of
We are
range.
driving like 5
Because
miles.
someone didn't charge their car last
Give me
night.
a break. We're driving 5 miles down the road and
Even
5 miles
though
back.
someone did get a reminder to charge their car.
So I have no idea why I told you guys see you in the morning because I signed in the afternoon. It's currently 3:26 p.m. I'm already halfway to the airport. Good amount of time at home, not perfect, but again, I did this to myself and it's not normal. Got home yesterday. Got dinner for the family. We all had dinner together. My 14-year-old did her trombone upstairs. My 7-year-old, even though she's used to me being a pilot, I've been a pilot for both their whole lives. Now, if you have a 14-year-old kid, you know they want nothing to do with their parents, so whatever. My 14-year-old is a 14-year-old. My 7-year-old still thinks I'm cool. And so we played a lot of games and just being, we were silly for like over an hour and a half, just being silly at home, enjoying the evening. And what did my wife do? My wife went to, it was Tuesday night. She was at the dog park, came home, and then we all played games. And then the kids went to bed. My wife and I finished Netflix, Nate Bargatze, because we couldn't finish it the other night because we go to bed early. But I was fine as far as my tiredness goes. I went to bed at my normal time at 10 p.m. Actually, my wife went to bed before I did. So, good night's rest. This morning, my wife woke up at 5 in the morning to go to work. I woke up around 5, rolled around in bed till 5:30, made the kids breakfast. We all had breakfast together, sent them on the way to school, and then I went shopping for groceries for my wife and kids, came back home, finished the Buenos Aires video that you've already seen, and then did some more computer work. I am looking for a new car, so I did a lot of time looking for a new car. It's a whole different subject. And then took a nap between 11 and 1, and that's a skill I've learned to do, is sleeping when I'm not tired. Because again, I got out of bed at 5:30 in the morning. I wasn't tired by 11 a.m. Oh, I did exercise. Sorry, I did half an hour exercise to close my freaking rings. Then took a nap, for a 2-hour nap, middle of the day. Woke up, make sure all my clothes were, repacked my clothes. I washed them last night. Same clothes back in the bag. Made sure my iPad was charged. Did all the updates and all the apps, and now I'm headed to the airport. So the crew I'm flying with, fairly senior. The captain is in the 200 seniority range. The FO is in the 2000 seniority range. The FO can probably hold captain, and I would not be shocked if they're going to bid captain here. They got awarded captain on the most recent bid. Now, I've been to Madrid before, once as crew and once as a personal trip. The personal trip I took a couple years ago. I get, being junior at the airline, I get a lot of weird vacation times. A lot of time in January and February because that's when no one wants to go on vacation. So if you're junior, you get January and February vacation. It's just how it happens. So I've taken solo trips, just a backpack, to Amsterdam, to Frankfurt, and to Madrid. Somewhere else, can't think of. I'm missing one, but I went to Madrid before with just a backpack in and out. I went in and out with the same crew. But the last time I went to Madrid one other time as a crew, and we were so delayed getting there that we got there like 3 or 4 hours late. I was exhausted. I didn't do anything. Like I just went out and did a little bit of walking and then back to bed. I was just tired. I'm happy that the inbound plane came in from Narita an hour ago. We don't leave for 2 more hours. I'm always early. I don't like rushing. Again, my sign-in time is at 4:20. It's 3:30, and if you look out my window, I'm already on the airport drive to go to the employee lot. So we should not have any issues getting there on time today. So it's about a 26-hour-ish overnight. Now, I did trade into this trip because my oldest 14-year-old has a trombone concert or an orchestra concert Friday evening at 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night. I land at 5 o'clock. So I'm going to land at 5, go home, and then go to my kids' concert Friday night after my trip. And then Saturday, my youngest has her first basketball game. So that's why I bid the trip I did, just bid around the kids' activities. And I'm fortunate to be able to do that. But it should be a pretty easy trip. Again, I'm an FB, relief pilot. And I've only had one landing this entire year. And it could be a risk going forward because next month I have 4 trips and they're all relief pilot trips. So I'm going to have to trade in to at least, hopefully, 2 FO trips to not have my landings expire, because in March, I'm going to be on vacation. So I don't, again, it's not a big deal if my landings expire. I just don't want them to expire because that's just a pain in the rear. But I also go to training. My annual training is supposed to be in April, but it could be pushed to May. It could be in March, but probably be in May. So if my landings do expire, then I will get recurrentized and annual training anyway. But this is a 20-ish hour trip. Again, it's not London. It is going to be cold in Madrid. So I brought my jacket and I brought my inner liner as well because I don't like cold. It's supposed to be rainy though, so we'll see. It's supposed to be 20% chance of rain. Airport employee parking. They're supposed to make it more secure soon, like have actual security at the gates. Anyways, all right. This would be a shorter opening because it's not really an opening because I've already been talking about it on this video. All right, let's go park. So I've been early my entire life. My dad raised me to be early. He was a proud Marine, and he instilled many virtues in me. And one of them was never having people wait on you. No one should ever be having to wait on you, Darren. Be there early, and that's what I've been my entire life. So even though I live just a few miles from the airport, I leave home 45 minutes to an hour prior to my sign-in time, and I'm always early. But again, being early also helps me reduce rushing and forgetting things because, yeah, over the years, I've had my wife bring my passport, my ID, my iPad to the airport because I forgot them. Anyways, leaving from Terminal D, and I am fairly early, but I was hoping to get down to the airplane and get settled before the crew arrived. But I was so early that, yeah, I couldn't even get down to the airplane yet. So it's, it's possible to be too early. It is currently, watches on 3:56, might be here till 4:20. And I can't go down to the airplane yet because the agent's not here. So I am a little bit too early today. But I'd rather be too early than on time. So I get some more stand points. Easy flight over to Madrid. Well, close to Madrid. Now, we use lots of weather apps to look at turbulence and weather, right? And we use our dispatcher and ATC as well. And we were told of forecasted severe turbulence about 400 miles away from Madrid while we're out over the ocean. So we descended to flight level 230, about 650 miles away from the airport, which is not normal, but we have the fuel for it. We don't even play with severe turbulence. Just for reference, normally about 30 miles from the airport, we're at 10,000 feet. So we were very low. But again, we had plenty of fuel. We still got rocked around quite a bit, but much less than people that were at the higher altitudes. Again, safety first, and thankfully we had the fuel for it and we were able to deviate around the turbulence. Getting closer, we came in on the Sotuk 4 Charlie arrival. And we're coming in over the Fei-Fek intersection, which connects to the runway 32 left approach, the Zulu approach. Now, this approach is interesting because it gives you the optical illusion as though you are way too low to the ground for the approach. Because the terrain, when you're like good 20 miles from the airport, is really high. So here we are crossing all these fixes at like 6,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 4,000 feet, but our radar altimeter is showing 1,500 feet. So even though we're at 4,000 feet altitude, reading on our altimeter, we're only 1,500 feet above the ground. So you feel like you're dragging it in, like you're way, way, way too low. Now, once we turn final, we cross the 6.2 DME fix at 4,000 feet, which is just 2,000 feet above the ground. Flight Sim doesn't portray it visually as well as it did in real life. The radar altimeter is correct, what you're seeing on there, but the visual when we're actually coming in, it felt like we were way, way, way too low. Additionally, once you see the runway, it has a very long displaced threshold on the runway. So once you see the piece of pavement ahead, you're like, oh, there's a piece of pavement ahead of me. I'm good to go. Well, not really, because of the long displaced threshold. Piece of pavement is 13,084 feet long, but almost 3,000 feet of it is unusable for landing. The actual landing distance available is 10,039 feet. So that first 2,000 feet, you're just gliding over. And so again, as a pilot, you have to trust your instruments, trust your eyes following the PAPI and not your eyes following the pavement. So it's a this is a very odd displace threshold. Most of them are much shorter than this, but this one is exceptionally long. So this approach has lots of challenges, right? You're low to the ground, far away due to the changing elevation, and then coming in, you're seeing this runway way far ahead of you with a long displace threshold. The airport is even designed very differently. It's pretty efficient from what I can tell. Coming in from the south, you'll land on the 3.2s and take off on the 3.6s. So this really separates aircraft, right? So the departing aircraft are never anywhere near arriving aircraft. If coming in from the north, you'll land on the 1.8s and take off on the 1.4s. So it's pretty efficient in that manner, but of course, it also leads to very long taxi times. But that's for another part of the video. Now, once we actually got to Madrid and got to the gate, it is a lot of walking. It's excessive. Big airport, I get it. But man, is the walk from our gate all the way down this giant corridor crazy long. I can't truly tell you how long the walk is. I recorded the walk from the bus to the plane when we got back. It was 0.84 miles, and that was actual walking distance. It took 44 minutes, I believe, to go from the bus to the gate, and that is for crew. It was a long journey through customs, a train, elevators, escalators, lots of walking. Went outside, hopped on the hotel bus, got to the hotel, and I was ready to go to bed. But first, I did a quick debrief.
All right, so pretty tired. Currently 10:39 a.m. local time in Madrid, 3:39 a.m. in Dallas. Long flight, pretty turbulent. Left a few minutes early. Again, I'm a relief pilot. Captain took off. I headed back for my break pretty quickly. Fell asleep in the bunk very quickly. Had about a 2 hour plus break. I slept about an hour and 40-ish of my break, so really good break. Went up front, sat in the captain's seat first, and then we hit turbulence almost right away. Like, I had a smooth break. Lucky me, right? Then the FO took a break, and we had some really good turbulence then. Like, not in a good way, turbulence. Like, it was kind of moderate. And then we got reports of severe turbulence up ahead between 380 and 240. So, like, well, crap. So about 650 miles away, we went down to flight level 230, which is really early. We don't normally go that low to or much closer to the airport. But we had the fuel for it, and it's like if they're reporting severe or predicting severe turbulence, we don't play around with it. So we went down to 230 and still got, that wasn't severe. It was light, occasional moderate jolt every now and then, very annoying. Um, but that because we descended early, we lost a lot of airspeed, true airspeed anyway. So we were slower. We got here a minute early to the gate, but we were supposed to be like 25 minutes early. We got here 1 minute early. So it is what it is. Very convoluted taxi instructions. I'm sure I already showed you, and then crazy long walk from the gate to the exit where the bus is. Like it was more than a mile. Um, of walking. Yeah, maybe not walking. It was a lot of walking, and then a long train ride, and then more walking. So, but planning on going out with the crew as long as it's not raining. It's a very dreary day, but it's okay. It's 10:39. I'm gonna change clothes and go to bed because I'm tired. All right, here we go. So here we are. A little more lighting. After my break, being interrogated. So I had a good 2.5, 3 hour nap. Slept from like 11 to 2-ish. Now I gotta go downstairs to meet the crew. Going to Plaza Mayor, then I had no idea where else. Um, Pretty tired still. It is what it is. Um, yeah. Can't figure out what trips I like the best, and I'm the least tired. I think I'm tired from all of them, except the trip I have the least fatigue and being tired is actually when I go home and I take the last break. So if I'm take the last break right before landing, then I'm of course the least tired because I had to break right before landing. When you're a relief pilot, you always take the first break, so you're up the longest stint. Um, yeah, that's unfortunate. But again, I'm junior, so I get a lot of relief pilot trips. Yeah, so gonna meet the crew. Gonna go to Plaza Mayor. Then I have no idea where else we're gonna go. And it's 3 in the afternoon here, so got plenty of time to explore um, before going to bed late tonight, and then getting up tomorrow and head back to Dallas. And again, I'm going to get a full night's sleep, but again, I take the first break tomorrow as well, and it's a longer flight, so I'll have a longer break. So there's that as well. I had about a 2.5 hour ish break here. I'll have well over 3 hours on the way home. The flight home's over 11 hours, so even taking into account taxi time, that's still over 3 hours per person on the break. All right, not much to report. I don't really care for the clothes I bought this trip. I have this blue shirt, and I have my black cowboy boots I'll wear, but then I have these funky colored shoes. But I'm just gonna put on my light jacket and deal with my funky color shoes, I believe. Yeah. Yeah. All right. It continues. So, new year, new me. Ha ha ha. Part of my new 2025 goal saying is I'm going to try to go out with the crew more often. So, I went out with the crew members. Uh, the FO has come here a lot. He likes Madrid, so he knows it very well. The captain hadn't been here in a while. I think since he flew the 777 one time, but then previously on the 76. Beautiful day in Madrid, I'll say that much. A little chilly for me because again it's below 70 degrees, but we walked around quite a bit, and it's almost like bar hopping, but not really, but kind of sorta. So we went to various cafes and restaurants and bars, and they'd have a beer here, beer there, and I guess it's against the law that they can't serve you just beer, so they would give you like a little appetizer everywhere you went to. Now, I wasn't super hungry, so I kind of just took a snack every now and then. But and I had one non-alcoholic beer. I do drink alcohol, but I don't drink alcohol typically on overnights. It's just not my thing. But I enjoyed going from restaurant to restaurant to restaurant. We did eventually sit down and we ate kind of a quick snack. I had a calamari sandwich. It was very good, very very good. Then I had a Coca-Cola Sin Azucar in my most American Spanish ever. But we were out for quite a bit, and I kept looking for churros, and I couldn't find a churro. So it was getting late. So we walked through the square by some protests, peaceful protest, and we took the subway back to the hotel. And once we got back to the hotel, I'm like, it's only like 8:30. I really want a darn churro. So I used Google Maps to find the churro place. I'm in search of a churro, and I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna find one. I looked on Google, they're not in this area, unfortunately. My own fault, but I'm gonna keep walking for a little bit because I want some cinnamon hot sugary stuff. The person behind me was using Too Good To Go. I bet I could have used Too Good To Go and got them cheaper than I paid for them, but that's okay. I got my churros. Now to find a seat. So I found a seat, enjoyed my churro. Then I did go by the grocery store. I got a little bit confused because Google Maps says it was here. It's in the bottom of this department store. Very nice grocery store. Kind of like a Whole Foods and then some. They had a whole health food section. I looked for papaya. They didn't have any. I know I'm in Spain. I get it. But I wanted my papaya, and they didn't have any. But I did get some orange juice, and I got some grapes, and I made my do, and back to the hotel. And I didn't notice they had this flight sim set up in the lobby of the hotel. It wasn't turned on. I've never seen a flight sim in the lobby of a hotel before in 17 years of flying. Interesting. Okay, so back from an outing with the crew, getting churros and going to a grocery store. Uh, it was okay going out with the crew. We did a lot of walking, stopped by a lot of places. I'm sure I already showed you a lot of things we did. Um, but yeah, nice evening walking around. Came back to the hotel. I wanted a churro. I found churros. Although I probably could have gotten cheaper on Too Good To Go. Which, if you don't know what Too Good To Go is, I've used it in London a few times, where you get baked goods or whatever the restaurant or cafe is gonna throw away, they'll sell it to you for really cheap, right? And someone came in and they showed their phone, but they got churros cheaper than I did, but whatever, it's fine. I went to the grocery store. I'm a papaya and orange juice person, right? So I got my orange juice. Yeah, I like orange juice, but no papaya. I had to get cotton candy grapes. Yeah, I know it's not a legit thing, but I like my fruit in the evenings, so I did just upload my Buenos Aires video to YouTube. Sorry I couldn't put it on Facebook. I did not copy the file to my hard drive, and my home computer is being a little bit annoying when I try to connect to it. So that will have to wait until I get back from the trip. But I still have over 12 hours till van time. So long time till van time. I'm going to do some computer work, play some my Legion Pro handheld, and watch some YouTube. Because if I go to bed now, I'll be awake too early. And again, I'm the FB, so I need to go to bed at an okay time to wake up tomorrow a little tired because it's very weird as an FB relief pilot. I show up to work and I go to bed right away. So I don't want to be full of energy, right? So, okay, it continues. Okay, good morning. It is currently 9:57 local, 2:57 a.m. in Dallas. Had a good night's rest. I woke up around my own fault at like 3:15 a.m. local because I had a trip trade set in for next month and I forgot to turn off my union notifications of a change in my schedule. I have to give me a phone call when my schedule changes, so my fault. But the good news is, got some trip trades next month. You know, I was supposed to go to Buenos Aires and London 2 times each. Now I'm going to Honolulu. The London I'm going to keep because it's an IOE trip for someone else. Narita and Buenos Aires is still on there. So 1 Narita and 1 Honolulu change. The other Buenos Aires trip is over Valentine's weekend, and that trip just can't move for some reason. I'm gonna have to keep working on that one. Anyways, good night's rest. And it's a late after, well, it's a 1 p.m. departure today, right? Local time, which is 7 a.m. in Dallas. 7 a.m.? 6 a.m. in Dallas. It's a long day ahead. The good news is the plane came in from New York. Actually, a buddy of mine flew it in. He's a New York-based FO. So yeah, but we're on a hard stand, I think. It says S1, so I think we have to use stairs to get into the airplane. Which, if that's true, then when we get dropped off, I'm just gonna do the walk around right then. What else? All plans are for us to fly, of course, to Dallas, and I'm supposed to land at 5 o'clock, be done at 5:30, immediately go home and go to my oldest kid's band event, I think at 7. And this flight has been getting in early. The earlier the better. So we'll see how well I do. But I'm gonna finish packing up the room and head downstairs. All right. So last time I was here, I had the early departure, meaning very short breakfast, early rise, and head to the airport. This was a later departure, so I got to sleep in for local time anyway before heading to the airport. So yes, it took about 0.84 miles to go from the bus to the terminal, about 42 minutes of nonstop movement. And then once we got to the airplane, things were fine. I did get a sandwich because I wanted a sandwich, so I got one. And it's chilling in the back of the airplane, eating it. But as far as leaving the airport, we were taking off from runway 1 for a right, which is really close to our gate, like short distance. But that's not how the standard taxi routing goes. We had a taxi all the way north, then west, then south, and then southwest to get to runway 1 for a right. And the taxiways on the charts are very interestingly how they're designed and named. Like taxiway Bravo, or sorry, November. It never says November on the actual taxi chart. It says November 10, November 11, November 12. You have to know, well, that's taxiway November. And then same for on the west side of taxiway, B6, November 6, Echo Alpha 6 is taxiway Bravo, Bravo November and taxiway Echo Alpha. So it's very different naming than I'm used to as far as what I'm normally seeing. But anyways, very standard departure and flight over the Atlantic Ocean back. Again, I took the first break and I was up for the rest of the flight. Got into DFNW Airport a few minutes early, got to the gate, headed outside, went down out to my car, headed home, and then I was able to make my kids' afternoon event. All right, it is 5:22, and we landed early from Madrid. Got through customs and headed home. So we're leaving for my oldest kid's band event at 6 p.m. So I have 37 minutes to get home, put something in my throat, and drive to the event. Didn't have I could have had my onboard lunch or my onboard pre-arrival meal. I didn't. Probably should have, because now I'm really hungry. And my wife doesn't cook. So we'll see if I want to stop through fast food or find something at home really quick to eat. As far as the flight, it was fine. Didn't have a lot to talk about with the other guys. I mean, a little bit, but different. A lot of this relaxing and staring out the window. The breaks were about 3 hours long per person, and again, I'm really good at sleeping on airplanes. So when I went back for my break, out of my 3 hours and change, I slept for a good 2 hours and probably 30 minutes. Like I enjoyed my rest. I slept. One thing about being a relief pilot, and I said it before and I'll say it again, it's different than being a FO. I show up to work and I almost immediately have to go to bed. So it's just different. But of course, then I am up the longest stretch for the most part than everyone else is. But I came up around 40 West, I believe it was, and sat in the FO seat first, and then the captain seat. Not much to say. It was a much more smooth flight on the way back than on the way there. Coming into Dallas, a little bit windy, and for maybe the third or fourth time ever, we landed on the east side of the airport. I've had pretty good luck landing on the west side, which saves at least 20 minutes of our arrival time to the gate, but it is what it is. So I am done for the rest of the month, and I'm happy to be done for the rest of the month. Next month, which you've probably already seen this, but anyways, I put in a lot of automated trades into the system, and I've gotten everything I want so far. So I originally had 2 Buenos Aires next month and 2 Londons. I now have 2 Londons, an Incheon, and a Honolulu. I did keep one of my Londons because it's set up for IOE, so I'll have an FC, a relief pilot. So by having a relief pilot, it's an easier gig than having just a normal three person London. And I'm at 83 hours for the month. So people are running red lights. Very scary. All right. So I won't say goodbye yet because I'll probably finish it when I get to my kids' event tonight. All right. So yeah. So leaving at 5:50 p.m. Range anxiety, only 64 miles of
We were
range.
driving like 5 miles.
Someone didn't charge their car last
Give me
night.
a break. We're driving 5 miles down the road. And
Even
5
though
miles back.
someone did get a reminder to charge their car.
Are you blogging my HEB honor band?
I am blogging your HEB honor band.
So we're driving 5 miles there and 5 miles home. Do you remember my old car used to?
And it's like 57 degrees outside, so we can't use the heater. We have to freeze.
That is such a lie.
Parents arguing.
Electric cars, you know.
Do you remember when we had the Leaf that only went like 70 miles?
Yes.
This would have been almost fully charged, and you never had an issue with that.
I did have an issue with it. I always tell you to charge your car all the time. But they have more than 57 miles range. They're a lot less. A lot high. All right. So now we're going to go to Taco Casa and get my dinner, and then we're going to go to the band event. So thankfully, her Pimp Wagon Deluxe, as I call it, made it, dropped off our oldest with her trombone early, and we enjoyed some Taco Casa. Now, as far as my compensation goes for the London 3-day trip, I was paid $59.63.91. That's 19 hours and 35 minutes at my hourly rate. $97.92 for international pay, $192.10 for my per diem, and the company put in an amount equal to 17% of my income, which is $1,013.87 into my 401k. I was away from home for 47 hours and 10 minutes. And a similar story for the Madrid 3-day trip. Again, 617201, a little bit longer of a trip. Again, 101.33 for international pay, a little bit way longer of a trip. $200.45 for per diem and $1,049.24 for my 401k contribution. I am fortunate to get to do what I do. I like being able to combine my work with my family time when it all works out just right. And to brag on my 14-year-old, she is in ninth grade. She was able to join the high school marching band. She's still in junior high. That's junior high here in ninth grade. But she has done an amazing job with the trombone. She's able to, again, compete and perform in the high school marching band, still do her normal junior high band. She auditioned for and was accepted into the honor band, and she's also in an orchestra as well. Very talented kid. She wants a new trombone, some kind of S.E. Shires model. Do you know anything about the S.E. Shires trombone? Anyway, have a great day, and as always, thank you for stopping by.